All right, no intro again. We're just gonna go straight into it again. This is it's basically a follow up to the stream I did last night. I watched the What's the Dirt breakdown of Drake's Family Matters, and I don't know how much this has to do. My fault. I don't know how much this has to do with that, but it seems like the company man has some sort of beef with What's the Dirt here. I'm not really sure what this is over. I watched like half of that Drake breakdown, and it was a little too much for me. Like, a lot of his points seemed like he was reaching a little bit. So like halfway through the video, I got pretty bored, not gonna lie. You can watch the stream, it's still up. But someone in the comments talked about this, and I heard about this too. I just felt like I had to watch What's the Dirt's last video to get like maybe a little bit of context, or maybe this is completely unrelated. I don't know, but we'll see. So let's go.
And like the company man said, it's just a more evolved form of what he was doing. That's all it is, right? As far as the fancy editing and all that stuff, right? And just the way that things are being explained. But at the end of the day, he was the first to do it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Which is a pretty crazy accolade.
Yeah.
All right.
This is What's the Dirt. What's the Dirt is a YouTube channel that blew up as a byproduct of Drake versus Kendrick Lamar. Right now, essentially, he's rap's greatest Google snooper, a sometimes unhinged at-home detective whose truest value offering is forcing his myopic perspective on black people engaged in conflict. He knuckle drags his way down to his cave in Canada, where he Google snoops on every girl that hangs out at Drake's house, or pocket watches Kendrick Lamar's contributions to his community, and he investigates Whitney's sister, and now he's graduated to counting the number of times Drizzy says nigga.
What do you mean? Now that point is crazy. We was talking about that on my stream last night when he mentioned that Drake said the N-word 37 times, and he's 37 years old, so he thinks Drake said it as many times as he's been alive to prove that he's been black every year of his life. Some stupid shit like that. And I was like, bro, that's a fucking reach. And it's crazy that this white man is counting the times Drake said nigga to like prove some sort of like point that Drake is some deep lyricist with layers and shit. And like, no. And I don't think I got too much into the part where he talked about Whitney's sister. Like, I think I kind of glossed over that because like I skipped ahead in his video. I did mention the whole like Kendrick doing things for his community thing, and how that would have been a great angle for Drake if he could prove that point. And he could, where am I from? I'm from New York. If Drake could prove that point in the beef, if Drake said, yo, Kendrick, you don't do nothing for your community, that's one thing. You know, just saying the thing is like kind of like a trash bar. But if he were to say, yo, I do this for my community, I invented this thing, or I built this supermarket or this hospital, or I funded this that did this, what did you do? Like, that would have been more of a point for Drake. But just saying you don't do shit for your community, you don't plant no money trees, that point is kind of like null and void, especially if you can't prove that Kendrick didn't do anything for his community, which I'm pretty sure he did.
What do you mean by that?
Now, I called out Dirt in a video I made called What's the Dirt's Awful Drake Theory. It's based on a particular point in his Family Matters...
Say your name, Steven's family? What's up, Steven's family?
News Fest, where he belches out bullshit expertise on Pyru politics and speculates on Whitney having postpartum depression, weirdly admits to researching Dennis...
That's another thing, too. He mentioned that she might have postpartum, and I'm like, that's kind of crazy. I didn't really go deep into it, but that's kind of crazy to assume that someone has postpartum, so that's why they're making cryptic Instagram captions.
Graham's entire genealogy, which I actually think should be a crime, and offers a theory that Drake says nigga 37 times in Family Matters because he's 37 years old as a means to prove he's been black his entire life.
And what's also really clever here is that Drake is 37 years old, and he says the N-word 37 times on this track, And I believe his reasons for doing this is he's basically saying the word for every year that he's been alive to
that is the stupidest point I've ever heard anyone fucking make, bro.
Symbolize that he was indeed born black.
What did you say, nigga?
And look, I know this is all about culture and not really about race, but no matter how you spin it, a lot of the themes that Kendrick uses in his own music, Drake's family also went through, and that is his heritage. I went through his dad's entire genealogy. His family's from,
and that's another thing. How the fuck did you go through his entire genealogy? Like, what the fuck, bro? What? How do you do that?
Slave. They really had it bad, and you can't remove that blood from Drake.
Jesus Christ.
Right. And he called it clever too. Now, in my video, I argued the insanity of that position because it doesn't work for him nor Drake. If Drake really did that, then that's the whitest thing in the world.
The whitest thing in the fucking world.
Kendrick's entire point in this battle. And if Drake didn't do that and this bum's reaching, then that means What's the Dirt, as part of his research, literally sat in his cave in Canada and counted niggas in an attempt to prove Drake's blackness.
That's so fucking idiotic, bro.
Stop it. Get some help.
Literally.
Now, a number of you who watched my video noticed there was about 10 minutes of black space at the end of the original post. Well, that black space was all the things I liked about Dirt's Family Matters breakdown. Sure, it took me 2 days to get through it because it was laborious and felt like homework, but there were actual nuggets I appreciated. Here's a clip.
But I think I see the reason in why it's so long. When he started talking about how this video was going to be 3 hours or whatever, I think most of us assumed he was just talking about the song itself. But he ends up breaking down Buried Alive freestyle, which was only posted to Drake's Instagram that most people hadn't covered. And that part of the battle is pretty interesting.
I am light skinned. You're right.
It's interesting to hear his take on that. And then also, one of the things that he focused on in this breakdown is also things that were happening in the video. Things that were happening in the video. And so I can understand the length and detail of this track and why it may be more challenging than the previous editions of his beef analysis. He's got to analyze the visual. And I think he does a really good job of analyzing the visual. He points out a lot of different things that I hadn't considered in the visual. One of the key things he points out in the visual that I just didn't even realize and didn't even think about was that in the Drake Family Matters video, he is crushing the van that was on the cover of Good Kid, Mad City. And I had no clue that actually wasn't the van.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would I take out the good stuff that I had already recorded before I published the video? What would make me do that? Well, that's because in Dirt's offensive Family Matters video, he decided to include a clip of me saying something positive about his channel without my permission. He didn't reach out. We've never actually talked on the phone or in person. He just did it on his own volition because that's what low-value clout chasers do.
I mean, to play devil's advocate, you don't really have to ask for permission to use someone's content. Like, it's a good thing to do, but a part of fair use is like you're able to use people's content and like use it in a transformative way. So, I mean, I understand where he's coming from, but you technically don't have to ask for permission to do that.
Here's a clip.
I'd argue that. I think What's the Dirt is probably the most exciting new channel in hip hop right now.
I guess sitting in your cave.
I mean, if let's say someone who's like a bigger channel than me, I don't really know if he's a bigger channel. Let me double check to see. YouTube.com. Let's search up What's the Dirt. He has more subscribers actually now. But if a big channel if a big channel said, yo, Anthony Cole Winter is one of the best new YouTubers right now, I probably would use that clip without permission. I probably wouldn't think too much about it. I guess now that I'm hearing him say that, if that ever happens, I'll reach out.
In Canada,
but I understand
is
why.
A lonely endeavor because What's the Dirt is desperate for validation. He's thirsty for it.
So I think his 616 in LA breakdown was really good. The Family Matters one, he had like some decent points, but a lot of it was like reaching and filler and points that didn't really land or connect or make any type of sense.
That's why you'll see him pop into any chat of any streamer who mentions his content. That's why he super chats academics so he can have a public conversation with his idol. And that's why he has 12 black voices clumped at the end of his videos, supposedly co-signing the product of his latest Google snooping endeavor.
It's a very well thought out video.
Yeah, see that kind of yeah, see that right there would give credence to his video for someone who doesn't know where these clips come from in context.
And he did his thing.
I thought this was masterful.
I could tell What's the Dirt analyzes. Not only that, but he listens to a lot of hip hop.
This is amazing. That breakdown was
That
dope,
was a little
man.
excessive.
He did a great job, bro.
I'd argue that. I think What's the Dirt's probably the most exciting new channel in hip hop right now.
And that guy, What's the Dirt on YouTube?
Yeah.
I watched his, like a bunch of his videos.
Oh, he's dope.
He's dope.
Being on YouTube and like watching like What's the Dirt on, you know, the
Yeah, like I don't see like I get what he's saying about the whole using people's clips without reaching out, but if I'm a channel who's trying to rise and I'm getting cosigns from people who are bigger than me, I'm gonna probably use them in my video. That would make me feel special. So I kind of understand both sides of this.
breakdown. I appreciate the Drake record a little more. That shit was fire.
He was going to.
Now, I don't know how Curtis King or Moni or Screwface or anybody else feels about him laundering their reputations in a video of him sitting in his cave in Canada counting niggas, but I didn't
Counting
like
niggas is
I didn't
crazy.
like that at all.
Counting niggas
Especially
is
because
crazy.
my video that he clipped my positive comment from was actually critical of how he chose to market his then upcoming
crazy with
Family
Drake.
Matters video. He got caught by the internet trying to say that Kendrick was lying about Whitney from his cave in Canada, but actually got the album wrong and the year of the interview wrong. In his post, he used that evidence as an example of his objectivity because he doesn't know what words mean. He thinks being objective is covering two separate things the same way, even though they're different. The Celtics and the Pistons aren't the same just because both are in the NBA, just like a PlayStation and an Xbox aren't.
That's actually a fact. You can't really compare things. That's a fact. That's
The same,
I ain't
even
gonna
though
get to it. You get what
both
he's
are
saying.
video game consoles. The good one has Ghost of Tsushima. So my video, which is called What's the Dirt's First Misstep, I talked about the problems with modern media where armchair Google snoopers like What's the Dirt present opinions as fact based on their narrow perspective when actual real lives are at play. I approached it in the fairest way possible, complimenting him on his channel and the anticipation he's built around upcoming releases while offering some perspective that might help him or anyone else avoid jeopardizing their credibility. Throughout my career, when I see an opportunity to help passionate people with promise looking to advance in the field of human endeavor, I do my best to offer perspective. I also compared that specific section to Trap Lord Ross and Academics' Warren Chirac channel, but also stated I didn't believe What's the Dirt was a culture vulture. What's the Dirt wants to be Academics when he grows up, but I can't see that ever happening. Academics weathers a barrage of insults on a daily basis on multiple platforms. What's the Dirt crashes out over criticism delivered with kid gloves.
That is bullshit. That is fucking bullshit. Fuck this guy.
Either way,
wow.
Dirt missed the message and leveraged my name, image, and likeness to co-sign his culturally offensive video. And I didn't want that to ever happen again. So during the edit, I decided to cut the good stuff out because what's most important is that everyone understands that What's the Dirt counts niggas from his cave in Canada.
Counting niggas is crazy, bro.
I'd say that's surprising, but what do you expect from someone who brands himself What's the Dirt? Names are powerful. I named myself the company man because that's how I felt working in investment banking, slaving away for someone else's tax break while writing about rap music on the side, dreaming of the day where I'd have my own company that was centered on my passion. Because I knew the term wasn't flattering in any capacity, I made sure I read and watched anything company man related, so I was prepared to rebuttal anyone who tried to use it against me because they disagreed with my opinions. That moniker connected with me personally in the aspirational and in the present. What's the Dirt's moniker makes sense too because he specializes in beef. He has 26 videos on his channel and 21 of them are about black people embroiled in conflict.
And I appreciate content like this, but when you take a step back and you think about what's really happening, it is someone who isn't of the culture capitalizing on the negative aspects of the culture. You know what I mean? It'll be like me making money off of like, this is a harsh example, very harsh example, but it'll be like me, you know what, I'm not even gonna say it. It'll just be like me capitalizing off of the unfortunate circumstances of another culture that I have nothing to do with. You know, I feel like people wouldn't like that for some reason, but in hip-hop it's cool because they're entertainers, they're rich most of the time, so it's like they get a pass, you know what I mean?
Take a look at this page. You don't see his face. You don't know what he looks like. Who he is secondary to what he's promoting. Of course, there are almost zero white people, just a sea of black faces feuding. Hip-hop is a vast aquarium full of all kinds of fish, but Dirt only focuses on the black ones fighting. This is his chosen revenue stream. This is how he chooses.
Right, and yeah.
To add
he has
value.
a point here.
This is how he tickles his own balls.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
But after I challenged his ridiculous theory that Drake says nigga 37 times to prove how long he's been black, Dirt knuckle dragged his way back down to his cave in Canada where he counts niggas, dropped the mask, and went unhinged. Check this out.
Right, so enough of this bullshit. I'm gonna start clapping back at some of these people from YouTube online who are coming with baseless, stupid takes like this guy. But I'm not putting it up on YouTube
Like
because
this
I'd only
guy.
be doing them a favor. Like, a lot of these guys don't have a lot of motion. That's like, they just don't, right? So I would be
Bro, oh my god, I hate that criticism, bro, because your emotion is manufactured off of the culture you don't exist within. You feel me? And I kind of hate when people, cause like, look, right? I make a lot of video responses in my live streams. So if someone were to say, yo, Anthony, all you do is live stream, you don't create your own content, I would say, fair point, but my content is transformative. I like respond to shit. But like at the end of the day, like, you're right. If it wasn't for like things to talk about, videos to make, then I wouldn't have like any audience or whatever like that. So when you have motion based off of like a culture you don't exist within, and then you're talking to someone, you're talking down to someone who doesn't have as much well, technically I have this around the same amount of motion. Yeah, I both have 300k subscribers. Like, he's not like some fucking nobody you're talking to. You're not giving him clout, but at the same time, you're gonna clout chase yourself to get motion. Like, it's weird. Like, you'll clout chase, but you won't give anyone quote unquote clout. It's like, I don't know. That's a weird thing.
helping them if I put it up on YouTube. But what
Bro,
I will
I'm
do
not fucking listening
is
to that
fire
song,
back
bro.
on Twitter. So that's what we're gonna
I'm
do.
not listening to
now,
that
keep in mind,
song.
this
Stop
guy in
spamming
particular,
the chat.
when I was talking about Kendrick
Alright.
and breaking down Kendrick's
You're doing
lyrics,
too much.
I was a genius. I was brilliant. I was extremely nuanced. His words, right? Funny how now that I'm breaking down Drake, that has all changed, right? Now I don't understand the culture. Now I shouldn't be speaking on certain things.
I'm always shocked when people in the comments say,
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Saying someone's not like culturally experienced when they sit there and count the many times Drake said nigga, and you honestly think Drake sat there with his team or even with his own self and said, you know what, I've been alive on this earth as a black man for 37 years, so I'm gonna say nigga 37 times. And to actually be serious with that point and to present it and put it out to the world is crazy. If you don't see how crazy of a take that is, then you're just not like inept, bro. I mean, you are inept. You're just like inept of what's going on. You're not like grasping like how that looks. Like, the optics of that is crazy. A white dude saying Drake counted, like, no one else would have ever put that together other than him. No one else would have said Drake is 37. He put, I'm not in that into. No one else would have put that together. to count nigga 37 times and say it's because Drake is trying to prove his blackness. Drake tries to, you can make the argument that Drake tries to prove his blackness in so many other ways. And when you make a point like that, you have to think, okay, if that point is true, what would that point mean for Drake? And if that point was true, that means Drake is an awful writer and he's trying too hard, and no, that's just cringy all across the board, bro.
Like
that would be a crazy point to
the
make.
content that I create, the videos I put out, when they say things like, "Man, I used to watch you."
I'm not in that guy.
I watched you in high
Facts.
school.
My fault.
People will tell me
That's
all
a
the time, "Man, man, when I was in high school, I used to watch you every Saturday. I'm a doctor now."
Damn, homie. In high school, you was the man, homie. What the fuck happened to you?
Oh,
anyways.
brother.
So, my question is Justin Hunt stupid or is he just dumb? People watching my content are in between the age of 25 and 44 for the most. 40% 25 to 30.
Oh, not the analytics.
Before. Middle schoolers and high schoolers aren't watching my content. So the whole reason and how you just framed your angle against me was fucking stupid.
There are things that Matt just isn't in the position to properly contextualize.
Like, What's the Dirt is a really great YouTube channel to me. I think he's from Canada too, if I'm not mistaken.
He is.
And so, like, his approach to it is super nuanced. You know what I mean? And you could tell he puts a lot of heart and passion into it. You know, and I think he does a great job.
He had really zero.
Drake is half black. The other side of his family uses it. I have a fundamental rebuttal to that.
Just to tell you guys ahead of time, his rebuttal sucks. You guys see what he's trying to do here, right? He's trying to frame it like my content is fucking corrupting the youth or some shit.
No, bro, that's not it at all.
It's a slime ball snake move is what it is. It's snaky as fuck, slimy as fuck, completely wrong, but that's what he's trying to do.
He gave probably to his mom and said clearly his dad side of the family uses it. My family growing up didn't use the N-word. I made a whole video on my channel. I didn't say the N-word for 20 years.
Bro, I could kind of tell.
That's not crazy, bro. That's not crazy for a white person to say, I can tell you didn't say nigga growing up. That's not crazy to say and actually upload it. Like, how do you not see how, as a white person who makes hip-hop related content and presumably is a fan of hip-hop, how do you not see how crazy that is to say to another black man, I can tell that you didn't say nigga for 20 years?
I didn't say the N-word for 20 years.
Bro, I could kind of tell.
Just this is why we gatekeep sometimes. This is why we don't always let white journalism exist in black spaces and black media, because these are the pillars of it, bro. These are the people that slip through the cracks. People who think it's okay to count how many times Drake said nigga to prove his blackness. They think it's okay to tell another black man, as a white Canadian telling a black American, or I don't even know if he's American, let's just say black person. A white person telling a black person, I can tell that you didn't say nigga enough in your life. And you think that's okay, and you also think it's okay to say that and still exist within black culture, black media, as a white person. That's just so crazy, bro. That's why we go so hard, especially with hip-hop, because hip-hop is so accepting of people that otherwise wouldn't be accepting of us. There's not a lot of white spaces that black people have a dominant voice in. But in hip-hop, any white, it's almost like this. I don't know if any of y'all watch battle rap, but this rapper Averb was battling this white dude, and he said some fire shit. He said, the cheers for you, the cheers, like cheering, the cheers for you mean nothing because black people like they clones. the cheers for me is worth double because niggas hate they own. And that shit is so true, bro. Because we are so accepting of people because it's like, wow, this white person can do some black shit. It's like white man can't jump. You see a white person on the court, you feel me? And they dribbling between their legs, they crossing niggas up, they dunking on people, and it's like, oh my god, you see how this white boy doing this shit? But when black people do it, it's just regular shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's that kind of thing. And obviously, like, take my example with a grain of salt, but you get the point that I'm trying to illustrate.
I didn't say the N-word for 20 years.
Bro, I could kind of tell.
That's actually crazy, though. That's
you see what he's trying to do to me there, right? He's trying to frame it like I believe every black person uses the N-word and every black family uses it. Now, I didn't think I need to put this clip in the fucking video.
I don't think I was
this
point
guy
either.
Obviously doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to this, so...
He doesn't know what he's talking about, but you know what you're talking about by saying Drake deliberately said nigga 37 times to prove that he's black.
Let's look at why I would say that about Drake's family.
And I'm also like, I come from a family in Memphis, Tennessee, where it's like, it's just something we say to each other, you know, and it's like...
I personally don't believe this guy's really that intelligent. I don't. To me, it's clear that he took the best Twitter talking points and regurgitated it into a video. There's also the fact that the last time he made a video about me, it did really well for him. So I see the play.
Nah, you're nuts, bro. You're nuts. You're nuts, bro. He's just trying to get my shine because come on, bro. Don't do that, bro.
But what he's trying to set up...
As a creator, you know that's not what it is, bro.
Up here, and the shit he's trying to angle against me is fucking disgusting. It's snaky as fuck. It's disingenuous as fuck. And
this
I don't fucking appreciate it.
This is a great example of getting lost in your own hubris.
He said this is a great example of me being lost because I assumed that all black families use the M-word. And
no, I think the point he was trying to illustrate was that it's kind of crazy that you sat there and counted how many times Drake said the word nigga in that song, matched it up with his age, which is, I think, a clear coincidence. But you made it seem like he illustrated the point that he's black for every year in his life. So he's going to say nigga 37. Like, that's so fucking stupid, bro. That's so fucking dumb. And, like, that makes you think, how many other times do you count how many times people use nigga? Is that the only word that you counted? Maybe he said other words 37 times. Why did you count that one? Like, you know what I mean? Like, did you count how many times he used every word? Like, that is fucking dumb, bro. I don't have no other way to put it, but that was just dumb.
And he's trying to peg that on me and put that on me. That is bullshit. That is fucking bullshit. Fuck this guy. So you see what I'm saying? He uses this middle school, high school thing as like the basis of his fucking argument, which is completely idiotic because we just looked at the analytics. So his whole framework there is fucking stupid. Stupid.
Well, technically, middle schoolers wouldn't put their real age on YouTube. They'd probably put their age higher so they could unlock more adult content. Like, I've done that when I first created the YouTube channel in like 09 or 08 or whatever the fuck that was. They asked me how old I was. I didn't put my actual age, nigga. I put like 100 or something like that. What if after we die we get a giant scoreboard of all the words we said? Imagine. That'd be fire. You said nigga 8,342 times and a half because you almost said it one time and then you stopped.
That is what the probably means. But like when you try to take words like that and reposition and flip it to contort whatever stupid ass narrative you have, this is what you get. This is what you get. How the fuck am I presenting things as certain when I preface with the word probably, maybe? You do
because the fact that you have to put probably, maybe with a situation like that means you're reaching. You're just reaching for something that might stick. And you're reaching hard, bro.
You know what those words mean, right? Probably and maybe. It means not for sure. I reached for the fucking stars
You
with
do.
Kendrick Lamar. Came with theories that like he was talking about the Kill Bill movie, when that probably might not be the case. Like the most insane theories possible, like reaching for the fucking moon, and knowing myself that Drake does and is good.
So if you're reaching for the moon, doesn't that mean that you might not know what you're talking about? Is that hard? Is that a far-fetched thing to say? If you have to reach, that means you probably don't know what you're talking about, right? That means you're trying to make sense of it, but you don't know for sure. So why is it awkward, or like why is it a bad thing when someone points that out, that you might not know what you're talking about? If you yourself are saying, I'm reaching, this might not be the case, but someone says, you might not know what you're talking about, and then you say no, that's kind of weird.
At taking dates and numbers and flipping them and using it in his music.
Not every rapper is a fucking numerologist, bro. Most of us don't think that way, and if we do think in numbers or dates or something like that, it's like pretty clear what we're getting at. You know what I mean? The part of hip hop, like beef or rap beef or whatever, a lot of it is us wanting to make our point and get our point across. That's just music, period. There's a lot of people who make cryptic music. A lot of the music that I've made for myself, like, isn't just straightforward. It's a lot of like double meanings and shit. But a big part of it is getting your point across because you want to be understood.
Why can't this pertain to Drake? Why can't this pertain to Drake when he uses the word heavily throughout the track? He uses it heavily because it is a rebuttal to Kendrick asking him not to use it. So when I noticed he used it that many times, I'm like, holy shit, he's really turning up on this song with his use of the N-word. Like, what the fuck's going on here? I did a quick Control F, and it came up 37 times. So that's pretty interesting. Now, am I saying
he didn't do a Control F? He counted it manually.
It could be, but to like completely destroy me on it when I had my takes on 616 and Euphoria were fucking 100 times more insane, just proves that this is not a me thing. This is a Drake thing. This is a Drake thing. They don't want to hear
we're just hating
anything about Drake.
We're just hating on Drake, huh? We don't even think Drake did that. We don't think Drake sat there and put nigga in his song 37 times to prove a point. We don't think that. We think you're crazy for saying that as a white person. And we think you're even more crazy for saying it because we don't think Drake did that.
Drake is incapable of doing this. Only Your Highness Kendrick Lamar, Jesus himself, is a...
No, that's not the fucking point, bro. That's not the point. The point isn't that only Kendrick can be complex. The point is that wasn't complex, and Drake wouldn't do some stupid shit like that, bro.
Able to do these types of things.
Oh, God. Oh, man, bro. You needed to talk to someone before you put this video out, bro.
That's what these guys think. You guys seen enough. You see what he's trying to do to me, right? And the narratives he's trying to paint.
So
like, he focused on that 37 years old thing.
This is so
because that
stupid,
trended
bro.
on Twitter. That's how I know he lacks intelligence. Because he's focusing on one of the most minuscule...
And you know what's crazy? I didn't watch his video or see it trending on Twitter when I made my initial response. And even I, for the first time when I saw that, thought that shit was stupid.
Smallest aspects of the video, but because that did well on Twitter, he put that in his video. But it's because he doesn't know what he's doing, though, right? This guy's a fucking snake.
So I must be a snake too then, because I did the same thing. I didn't see it trending on Twitter. I didn't watch this guy's video first. When I came to that point, because people usually with a brain can see things and understand things and comprehend and make their own fucking decisions. When I saw that in your video, I was like, no, this point is actually stupid.
I'm telling you, fuck this guy.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus. Now, I'm a naturally gracious dude. My grandmother, Ernestine Powell, rest in peace, she always implored me to move with Christ and keep an open mind. My mom, Chantel Hunt, rest in peace, she told me to carry myself with respect, but don't be no punk about my shit. So that's why we're here. But before we move on, let's rebuttal his projection-laden bullshit real quick. Dirt advertised his Family Matters video by saying how easily Kendrick Lamar lied about his relationship with Whitney during a Breakfast Club interview. Yet in this situation, he says we should just believe Drake saying he grew up around black people because that's what he told whatever little kid he's talking to in the clip Dirt just showed.
Thanks.
Now, if he had just included that clip in his breakdown, he wouldn't have to defend his position this way. Either way, but this actually means that the guy we've been showering praise on for his research didn't remember that we all watched Drake learn how to say nigga over the course of his career. Does this look...
And I was surprised that he didn't include... I'm pretty sure he's about to include the clip where Drake says nigga with the hard R. And I mentioned that in my last stream about this. Bro, shut the fuck up. In the comments. I mentioned that video in the last clip, and I'm surprised he didn't use that video because that video is so easily findable on the internet. Like, if you type in Drake says nigga, or like Drake nigga, or anything of that sort, this video will come up. I'm pretty sure he's about to play it right now.
Like a guy who grew up with people saying nigga in his household?
Be like, yo, that's that nigga, you know what I'm saying? Be like, yo, that's that nigga, you know what I'm saying?
And this is grown adult or late teenage, at least Drake. He got to be like 19 to 22 in this clip.
People saying nigga in his household?
Be like, yo, that's that nigga, you know what I'm saying? Be like, yo, that's that nigga, you know what I'm saying? Be like, yo, that's that nigga, you know.
I never accidentally just said nigger, hard ER, in conversation. I never accidentally said nigger when I meant to say nigga. Like, never, bro. That never fucking happens, bro.
Also in that Crash Out video, which is never going away, by the way, he said that I said that he was lost because I assumed that he assumed all black families said the N-word. But I didn't say Dirt was lost. I said Dirt was lost in his own hubris. Hubris means arrogance, excessive confidence. Thanks. Dirt doesn't appear to know what hubris means, which is why I believe, in my opinion, he ended up arguing some separate points he made up in his head.
Which is a straw man.
My disappointment
He's straw manning him.
is immeasurable.
Also
Crazy.
in this Crash Out video that's never going away, by the way, Dirt showed a clip of me giving him praise during a conversation I had with Friday Ricky Dredd because he continues to sell a low-value narrative that people who don't like his Family Matters snooze fest must hate Drake. The only problem is he had to write, when covering Kendrick, on the screen because I never said the word Kendrick in that part of the conversation.
So that was a f***ing lie.
I actually love his Kid Rock video, which he made way back before he started counting niggas from his cave in Canada. A third point from that Crash Out video that's never going away. Dirt really thought he cooked when he pulled up his analytics to prove me wrong when I said I was certain. I said it with my full chest that most of his audience is in middle school and high school. I was wrong about that. I was categorically incorrect per his receipts. And that's easy for me to say because I'm a fully functioning adult who doesn't cripple under professional criticism.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
But away from the fact that more than one pair of eyes can watch a screen at the same time, or how parents let their kids watch things on their iPads to keep them busy,
or kids sign up for websites and don't put their real age because they know that they'll be restricted from certain content.
How young people often make fake accounts with fake ages for more mature access. I was shocked. It felt like the majority of our audience at Hip Hop DX, were young people because our analytics said the same thing too. They said the same thing as Dirt. I was trying to send the message that having an audience, any audience, especially a large audience, is a responsibility. He processed that as me saying that he's corrupting children, which I firmly don't believe. And if I did believe it, best believe, I would have made that point loud and clear. But Dirt is so lost in his own hubris that he can't admit that it's his fault. His fault that his most recent piece of work doesn't hit the same as his previous releases. And he's running around playing the victim in everybody's comment section.
Facts.
People told him weeks ago that 3 hours was way too much for Family Matters.
Bro, I only watched like the first hour and skipped to the very end, and I couldn't anymore. I thought I could, but I couldn't, bro.
He was so filled with excessive self-confidence, which is what hubris means, Dirt, that he didn't seem to consider that he probably would have had more success if he just split the buried...
And to be honest, I was looking forward to watching the video when I first saw it. I was like, okay, cool. He did the same thing as he did with 616 to Family Matters. Let's watch it. But then as I'm watching it, I'm like, this shit is kind of awful.
Live part 2 portion of the conversation into a separate video, which might have had a similar effect as his 616 in LA video, since neither of those songs are available on streaming, so it would have been fresh discovery for people not following this every day on YouTube. He didn't do that. He thought he could pull an FD signifier. He's not FD signifier.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
And most egregiously, the guy who has a reputation for spending all year calculating brain-exploding nuggets of new information, like the tow truck company that shipped the van that really wasn't the van on the cover of Good Kid, Mad City cover, or meticulously clocking Dennis Graham's DNA, Google snooping his way to YouTube fame off the power of rap's greatest rap battle, still doesn't seem to comprehend what's really going on. I don't know how under any circumstances that after watching the Shakespearean Shakedown Kendrick laid on Drake's 100 gig head top and the cultural response to Drake saying he's rapping like he's trying to get the slaves freed, Dirt thought that he was the best voice to reveal brand new information that Drake said nigga 37 times to symbolize how long Drake has been black.
That's so crazy. That's so
How can a person
crazy.
peer into the nuances of this battle for so long and still not be able to shield himself from the predictable backlash to a white guy sitting in his cave in Canada and counting niggas? That's why I say Dirt is lost in his own hubris, because to me, that's the most logical justification. I mean, think about this. Dirt has spent months breaking down Family Matters and fell into the exact same traps as Drake. Exact same traps as Drake. He says this video is going to age well in the future. I think he's predicating that on the allegations part that Drake has levied at Kendrick and Whitney. He has to remember this video still has him sitting in his cave counting niggas.
That's insane.
But now that you mention it, Dirt, you are actually lost though, not in your soul or spirit or as a person or as a YouTuber. You still have a promising career, I'm sure. No, lost like that popular 2000s TV series about the people who crash landed on that deserted island. It started off fire, but in the end, turned out to be a confused mess no one respected.
I still ain't finished that show.
I'll be honest, if I was a Drake fan, if I was Team Drizzy, if I was one of these Team Drizzy people showing up in my personal Twitter account after all this stuff been blowing up the last 2 days online, telling me that I'm biased because I don't cover Drake the same way that I cover Kendrick, well, again, the Celtics aren't the same as the Pistons, so I'm not going to cover them the same. I have biases, and I'm willing to lean into them. There are certain things I'm clearly biased about, and the stuff that came out in this battle, from a culture standpoint, top of the list, dog. Top of the list, I'm sorry. I just see it a different way. I'm a different person than you. It's all good. But I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed if I was one of y'all who really love Drake. I would be pissed as hell at What the Dirt. What's the Dirt in his 616 in LA breakdown, I'd argue, did more to effectively spread all those uncomfortable, unfortunate narratives against Drake than almost any other YouTuber. And now he soiled his Family Matters video so badly that people are debating whether Drake is counting niggas to prove his blackness. No matter how you slice it, that's malpractice.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
And that's why I decided to cut out the good parts from my Dirt's Awful Drake Theory video, because in 10 or 15 years, when kids today, middle schoolers and high schoolers today, wherever they are, when they grow up and they look back at this battle and they want to see what's going on, there needs to be at least one other video letting them know that counting niggas was not a part of hip hop in 2024, nor something to look for in rap songs. I need them to know that that was some dumb shit some arrogant douchebag sitting in a cave in Canada came up with because he's thirsty to reveal new information, even if there is none or no relevance.
Yeah.
And he's willing to disrespect the culture, the artist, and himself in the process. Dirt also said I had no motion in my unhinged diatribe and decided he didn't want to put it on YouTube because he didn't want to help me out. He laughed when I said I wasn't raised in a household where N-words weren't allowed, and then doubled down for a few days online calling me Carlton Banks. Then he bounced around to every streamer, large and small, to plead his case and that he didn't mean it with racial undertones, and just about...
That literally is racial undertones, because we all know the character Carlton Banks is a character who struggles with not being black enough. That was actually one of the main themes of one of the episodes of that show. So for you, a white person, to call someone Carlton Banks, which pretty much means you're not black enough. Also, I can tell that you haven't said nigga for 20 years. is crazy, especially when your being on the internet right now is existing in a predominantly black space, a black culture. Right now, you have 300,000 plus subscribers of black culture. Your platform has been built on black culture as a white person, so you should know your place a little bit, bro. You should know not to call another black person not black enough. That's insane, bro. That is fucking insane.
Everywhere he went,
that's like me going into a pizza store telling the pizzeria man, you don't make pizza right. I mean, maybe that's not a good example. That's not a good example. But you know what I'm trying to say? Like, we get so much backlash for going in other spaces that don't belong to us and trying to, like, lay the law, so to speak. But, like, it happens to black people, black culture all the time, bro. That is insane.
Bullshit was rejected. 9-second applause.
Word, Lionel.
Honestly, I think Dirt should step away from this for a little bit. I think he's way into the weeds. I think he's looking at everything in life through the lens of battle rap because he seems really paranoid. He looked at a video that provided professional criticism and spazzed out online, straight crashed out. And whatever he thought I was accusing him of, whatever way he thought I was trying to make him look, he ended up doing to himself.
Right.
To himself. And honestly, that's the best feeling in the world. I mean, look what I've done already. I've talked about him on multiple platforms, multiple interviews that I was doing, giving him compliments. I champion his Kid Rock video. I personally believe I'm part of the reason it's even back available because it really is good. I tried to offer insight in 2 of my videos leading up to Dirt's craptastic release of his craptastic Family Matters video. Sharing perspective I've gained over my years doing this, and I thought it would hold some weight because I literally pioneered the video essay space in hip-hop. That's not conjecture. That's literally, it was me, Ak, and Roller Clip James fighting for long-form conversations at DX at a time when short-form conversation was the rule. Dirt knows that. That's why I put that clip in the beginning of the video. Then here comes Unhinged What's the Dirt, spiraling online because his paranoia, his myopic view of the world, and this focus he has on being the most nuanced and detailed guy putting up battle rap videos, thought I was trying to paint him as a racially insensitive YouTuber who's corrupting kids. He tried to disregard me as some guy on another channel describing things I see online. He tried to belittle my labor, my passion, my existence, my blackness loudly and publicly.
Facts.
And fortunately, because I'm blessed enough to have been dedicated long enough through all the tough times and all the moments when I was ready to quit because I didn't feel like what I was saying actually made an impact anywhere. All of you guys, all y'all in the culture came to bat. And I didn't have to say anything at all.
Facts.
I didn't have to say anything at all for him to get the fucking point. Dirt doesn't have the care and grace and wide-ranging knowledge of Professor Sky. Dirt doesn't have the tone or temperament or ability to translate complex ideas into captivating 3-hour video experiences like FD Signifier.
Facts.
Dirt doesn't have the resume or reflexive knowledge of hip hop or rap music to do line-by-line breakdowns on the fly like Rob Markman. Dirt doesn't teach his community about the nuances of the music industry and offer ways to help improve their lives and careers like Curtis King. Dirt doesn't have the cultural nuance to compellingly tackle any topic like Deleted. Dirt isn't even the best from his country at providing insight. Dirt doesn't actually get direct sourcing nearly as often, with nearly as much range. Dirt isn't Jeremy Hecht. What's the Dirt is a grade A, 100% unhinged coward who loudly disrespected me publicly, questioned my blackness multiple times, then quietly DM'd me an apology on the side at 12 a.m. this morning.
Sheesh. Hey, Justin, I truly wanted to apologize for coming at you sideways like that. The video I made about you was made in anger. I feel like I just took all of the hate I was getting and projected it onto you. Well, projected it on you. I was actually really excited when you shouted me out and even posted a clip on my personal Facebook. I know you're a good guy. I just felt offended with a few things in your video, but regardless, it didn't warrant that response. My girlfriend tried to stop me. I think I was just so frustrated with the backlash that I directed it towards you. You might not want to ever talk to me again, but I do want to say sorry. I would also like to say sorry for the Carlton comment. Insane. I wasn't trying to question your blackness at all. You kind of were. And especially when that wasn't the only thing you said in regards to his blackness. I just meant you're more straight edge. Shut the fuck up. That's not what you meant, bro. That's not what you... I hate when people apologize but don't fully take responsibility for what they say. If you're going to apologize, apologize. Don't try to soften the blow. Just say, I'm sorry for this, because you know what the fuck you did. And if you meant straight edge here, you didn't mean straight edge when you laughed and said, you can tell that he didn't say the N-word growing up. Fucking dumb. That was also another comment made in an unstable state. I would love to talk to you on the phone if you're down. I would totally understand if you didn't, though. Shut the fuck up, bro.
Days after his credibility-killing crash out. The point is this. Don't compare me to What's the Dirt. We are not the same in this conversation. I built a fortress in this space through compassion and dedication over the past 15 years. A fortress that's been tested against enemies of all kinds, including myself. What's the Dirt is a 2-year-old algorithmic success story who has now graduated to counting niggas from his cave in Canada, who tried to tarnish my name publicly and loudly online while still laundering my reputation in his Family Matters video.
Right.
Clip my face out that weird-ass breakdown too, man. I'm serious. You don't know me. Don't associate me with none of that bullshit. And to everybody else, it's all happening.
That was a good response. Let me see what FD had to say.
We gotta play disciplinarian. Now we're not talking about Diddy.
Now this was the first video. I didn't even watch it fully. I watched maybe like 20 seconds and I was like, I need context. So I watched this video. Then I went to What's the Dirt. I watched his... Well, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched all of I could take from the Family Matters breakdown. And I just watched Company Man's video, so let's see what this is about now.
I was actually talking to Bill, texting back and forth with Bill. I got a Diddy idea. That's probably going to be my next video. It's talking about Diddy in that whole era, so that won't see the B-sides, because there's so much more. There's a lot of meat to that bone that people ain't ready for. Hopefully Bill ain't also planning the Diddy video. We were talking about it. Let me text him now. While me and Bill will make the same videos about the same stuff, I don't know if our Diddy videos...
By the way, if you're watching right now still, because there's a couple people in the chat still, subscribe to the channel. Help a nigga out, man.
Could be any different. Like normally... We'll do the same video, and it'll be different.
I need 6 more subscribers, and I'm at 2,400 right now. So let me get that milestone. Help a nigga out, man. Subscribe to the channel.
Story on Diddy is the story on Diddy, and it's the story of the time. What I really want to talk about, I ain't gonna pull no. So there'll be images on screen when this is edited and put out on the B-sides. This will be on the B-sides. What I really want to talk about is this What's the Dirt crash out that happened earlier this week, and just. The disappointment, and just kind of like I feel like I gotta practice what I preach. I made a whole video. One of the main conversations about that I try to have during I'm What the Culture Feeling. And
amazing video, by the way. If you guys didn't watch that video, it's let me pull it up on the screen right here. Actually, I mean, I'm sure you've seen that video. That shit went super viral and shit. Almost 4 million views. Goddamn. It's basically his breakdown of the Kendrick and Drake beef, and like a lot of detail is this video right here. Fire video.
And you know, a lot of my hip hop videos is about the difficult to swallow but genuinely valuable art of gatekeeping.
I just fucking said that, bro. I just was saying that like 10 minutes ago. This is why black people tend to gatekeep. And everyone always complains at us for doing it. But this is why gatekeeping is necessary, because what slips through the cracks a lot of the time and it goes unchecked is white people who aren't of this culture capitalizing off this culture, because sometimes for whatever reason black people are excited when people that aren't from the culture make sense of something that's in the culture, or they excel at something in the culture. Like there's plenty of rappers who are eons better than MGK, eons better than G-Eazy, eons better than Macklemore, but they'll never be as successful because of whatever reason. There's black creators that are eons better than What's the Dirt, eons better than Trap Law Ross, you know what I mean? And we let them in the culture and they think that they have a voice that really matters, you know? Like, it's cool. I'm not saying that only black people should make black content, but there should be some form of like, for lack of a better phrase, there should be some policing, bro. You can't just let everybody into the culture because you'll get white people saying you're not black enough. You haven't said nigga your whole life and I can tell, or counting N-words. Like, that's fucking crazy, bro. So when we see shit like that, oh, Trap Law Ross is capitalizing off of Black Death. Say what you want. Oh, it's all public information. I found this out online like everyone else could. You're still a white person who's not even an American white person. You're completely outside the culture, making money off of actual Black Death in a very satirical way. You know what I mean? And not for nothing, black people shouldn't make money off Black Death either. You know what I'm saying? But it hurts even more when it's... You get the point I'm trying to make. Let me continue.
And not just gatekeeping, because you know, if you follow my thesis, the gatekeepers didn't really do their job, right? So I want to look at this more as standard bearing, flag planting, right?
Flag planting.
And
that's a great term.
Educating for anyone else out there that wants to do hip hop, media, journalism, whatever. And I want to make I'm going to clarify a couple of, false takes. Number one, this is not because he released a negative Kendrick video. I didn't watch the video, right? And I want to be clear. I didn't watch the first video. A lot of people, y'all have been telling me in my comments and chat for months now that I needed to watch the 6.
Watching from the outside, America looks like an episode of South Park. Yeah, you all batshit crazy. That's because you're watching from the outside. Like, I think most of the time when you watch any culture from the outside, you're not going to get a good depiction of what the culture actually is. I don't know where you're from, but I'm pretty sure your place of origin has misconceptions just as well. That's just the reality of not being completely informed about what you're viewing.
16 in LA video he did, I never watched that shit. I wasn't interested. And just being for real, if I really want to do lyric analysis, I'll go to Lyric Genius, or I'll come up with my own shit. I'm confident enough in my own shit. Right. I'll be damned if I have to go to... I'll be goddamn. And I was nodding and smiling like, yeah, that's cool. That's a good theory. That's dope. You know, oh,
it was a pretty good theory.
First, and you know, the 616 Marina. Yeah, I get that. That sounds plausible. And it might be. And I'm not saying it's bad. And now his 616 video. I'm not saying that. Everybody I know, people I respect, watched that video and said, "Hey, good analysis." I never watched that shit. I did. I'm not a lyric breakdown content type of dude. You know what I'm saying? And you can go back to on what the culture's feeling. You don't see any of his analysis. You don't see any of his breakdown in my breakdown. Right?
Right.
Just making that clear. So like, cause I seen a lot of Drake fans being like, "Oh, you don't like them when he did the 616." I didn't watch that either. Saying, so just make sure that's understood. This is not about Drake. I'm not going to this video, although I've heard critiques, I'm not going to critique his takes on family matters, although I've heard they're not the best. I heard about this 37 years line.
Insane.
That's not what I want to do.
What's also really clever here is that Drake is 37 years old, and
the fact that he calls it really clever.
The N-word.
It would not be really clever.
37 times on this track, and I believe his reasons for doing this is he's basically saying the word for every year that he's been alive to symbolize that he was indeed born black.
It's fucking dumb.
Furthermore, this is not me saying that white people, white hip-hop fans don't have a place or a role as journalists and analysts and, you know, critics, etc. Y'all know I'm a Fantano fan. Some people don't fuck with Fantano. I understand. I fucks with Fantano. I fucks with Professor Scott.
I fuck with Fantano.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't watch his videos too much. I've seen a few
of videos I've watched where it's clear I'm watching a non-black, probably white figure breaking down hip hop, and it's useful and it's entertaining and it's fun. And although some people don't feel me here, I will die on the hill that white people have contributed a ton to hip hop over the years.
Yeah, MC Search, LP. I'm thinking of something else. MC Search, LP, M, Rick Rubin. There's a bunch of white figures in hip hop that contributed a lot.
All right. So it's not about explicitly just him being white. For those who don't know, we're talking about What's the Dirt. I guess to give a little background, What's the Dirt is a hip hop creator that just popped up on the scene. And the algorithm was real happy about him. And by the algorithm, I mean the audience. And that's an important thing to point out.
Yeah.
The major consumers of hip hop media, not just hip hop music, hip hop media are white men between the ages of 15 and 35. Period.
Okay.
Period. I'm not saying they're like the vast majority, but they are the majority. All right. It's just the nature of this is fucking demographics of the country. Okay. So if you want to be successful doing hip hop media and you want to be big, you have to be appealing to white people on some level. There's a lot of ways to appeal to white people, but they are most, in my perspective, they tend to gravitate the most to voices and figures that either reflect them or reflect a specific image of blackness that they find appealing. So what does that mean? You have your academics and your Adam 22s. And What's the Dirt falls in that range. That's also why Fantano has 1 million subscribers on 2 different channels. And Fantano's not a purely hip hop, music figure. He's a full music figure, but hip hop is what he's most prominent for because that is the largest audience, the most active audience. Okay. So the question becomes for any white figure involving themselves in hip hop media creation, do you want to be closer to Fantano and Professor Sky, or do you want to be closer to Adam 22 and academics? Y'all know how I feel about Adam 22 and academics, especially academics. I don't even really hate. I know it's some weird case shit with Adam 22 I've heard, and like Adam 22's black penis obsession is weird, but I really don't care.
Hey yo,
with Adam 22, he don't bother me as much. I don't watch him, but like it doesn't gall me as much as it does with fucking academics. Academics galls me, you know.
I really wish them two could find the space to speak to each other live. That would be a great watch.
But they both represent a very exploitative formula for making money off of hip hop culture and media. It is a clear situation where the culture comes second and their bag comes first. Mm-hmm. Vlad is another one. You know what I'm saying?
I can agree with that.
And that's frustrating, but that's the culture right now. Academics is named the number one media person in hip hop right now.
What's good, Miss Berry? Not my normal stream. This is more like hip hop centered. I've actually been on for like an hour now, so I'm about to get off soon. But basically, there was a white creator who made a video. It's hard to explain. There was a white creator who made a video breaking down Drake's diss song to Kendrick, and he said a lot of stupid shit in it. And then a black creator pretty much like criticized his video, and then the white creator responded to that and like crashed out and said even more stupid shit and a lot of racially insensitive shit. So then the black creator responded to him again and pretty much like shut him down. And now this man is responding to that entire situation. Hopefully that made sense. I don't know.
Number one. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I made multiple videos explaining the totality of that problem. I don't want to like regurgitate that here. And so I, with my 800,000 subscribers and my minimal reach, I can't say a lot that's going to affect the academics. And I can't stop What's the Dirt from going the academics route. If he wants to go that route, there's a bag there for him. If you go and you look at his crash out on Twitter, there's plenty of people, many of them black, at least they say that, defending him and his actions. So like this isn't about like true gatekeeping. I don't have a key to the gate. It is what it is. I guess to finish explaining, I might have to cut this up. So What the Dirt made several videos about the beef. He blew up off the beef. And I low-key hope he got monetized in time because he got a lot of views off this beef in only a couple of months. Mm-hmm. But it ain't easy to get monetized on YouTube. So I hope he got all his coins because I don't know where he lands going forward. Right? No Trap Lord. I'm sorry. Okay, so he blew up off of like analysis and breakdowns of what was going on with the beef and the different songs and whatever else.
My name's Anthony.
He got 1 million views off of his 616 in LA video. He came back this week with his Family Matters breakdown video. And the streets wasn't feeling it the same. The views ain't the same. It is what it is. The company man, Justin Hunt, I believe his last name.
So he's basically, I think he's basically like saying pretty much the same shit I've been saying this whole time. So with that being said, I'm about to get out of here. I don't know how many people are in here right now that watch my regular streams, but we're about to get back to that probably tomorrow night because I'm busy tonight. But tomorrow night we're gonna be streaming as per usual. So stay tuned for that. And for right now, I'm out. I appreciate whoever's watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'm going to catch y'all.